to the Can Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. We're in Season 4, Episode 11, just marching forward, boldly going on this fantastic journey. And the Can Wine Podcast is, of course, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. And this week we'll be talking about a can. But before I get to that, let's talk about our Wine Nerd Word of the Week. Now, this Wine Nerd Word of the Week was brought to us by Dean, our man on NA products, and he had said this would be a cool thing. It's a French word, which is batonnage or batonnage, which is the process of stirring the lees back into the wine. Now, what are lees? That's another question you might ask. Well, lees are the dead bits of yeast that fall out of the wine and settle to the bottom, and when they're settling there, they can develop a kind of unusual or unpleasant taste. So by stirring these lees up as the wine ages in the barrels, it gives you a more unique and fuller flavor. So that's something great. And speaking about French things and all things French, our wine of the week, can of the week, is the Altitude Project. Not from France, but from Chile, and it's a Pinot Noir, which is a French grape. Now, the interesting thing about Chilean Pinot Noir is it is grown on its original rootstock due to the terrible phylloxera louse. In Europe, they had to tear out all the rootstock. It's a kind of an aphid that attacks the roots of the things, and then they would graft them onto North American rootstocks. But in South America, they haven't been plagued by that. So this is as close to it gets for a Pinot Noir. It comes from the Central Valley, and it is imported by a company called Precept Brands, which is a product of Andrew Brown and Dan Batty. And they're out of the Pacific Northwest. In fact, they're one of the largest wine enterprises up there. And Altitude Project is coming out of the Central Valley in Chile, and they're aiming to aspire to new heights in wine making. So it's a 355 milliliter can, so that's equivalent of half a bottle, and it has, as described here, 12% 12% alcohol, and it is imported and canned by Altitude Cellars in Walla Walla, Washington. And the whole thing with the Altitude Project is to give people good wine with at a reasonable price. So where did I find it? Well, I'm always looking for wine, and one of the places that I've consistently been able to find wine is a small coffee spot in Cornwall on Hudson, literally 20 minutes away from me, across the valley, just north of West Point, down a twisty road, and you would never find it unless you had heard of it. They make a killer bagel. I think I had the rock and roll bagel, which was bagel cream cheese with tomato and cucumber. I did not pair it with this. They're nice enough to allow you to take these out, and I did because I wanted to bring it to you and show you. It's a very interesting can. Just looks like a blackboard with Altitude Project on it. Not much information online as far as a fact sheet or anything like that, but it is a Pinot Noir, so it likely has a substantial portion, better than 75% of that grape. So that's what we know about that. Pinot Noir is a grape that comes out of the Burgundy region in France, and it's been cultivated for centuries, and it's kind of one of the standard bearers of wine. So if you can make a good Pinot Noir, you really know what you're doing. So without any further ado, let's do what we do here on the Can Wine Podcast, which isn't just wear Can Wine Podcast hats and interesting shirts from Center Stage Productions, our sister, or mother company rather, but we do open cans of wine and talk about it. So this is the portion where we will do that. Well, it has a very a fruity flavor. That came out right away. And this is, oh, it's got some nice legs. This is the first red wine that we've done this season, so it is fall time here in New York, and don't let this short sleeve shirt fool you. It's brisk here. We've had some crazy winds. I even saw a few snowflakes twice this week, so time to sit by the fire and enjoy a nice can of Pinot Noir. It does have a very soft tannin, quite interesting flavor. It's fairly dark, although it is transparent enough you can see through it. I do taste what they said, black plum. There is some spice, maybe a kind of a clovey flavor, and it does have a real cherry flavor to it. It's a fairly, it has some body, but it's a little bit thin, and of course as a red wine it's very dry and has a lot of tannins in it. One of the recommended pairings for this would be game meat like venison, so Russell, if you're out there, this might be a good one to pair with your two-point buck that you got this week. A friend of mine was telling me he was out hunting and was able to get one, and also that his wife had made, not with that one, but a previous catch. She had made a venison roast with stuffed with goat cheese and cranberries, so that looked pretty good. Oh, and then she wrapped it in bacon just to put it over the top. So Lori, that I haven't stopped thinking about that since Russell sent me the pictures, but it would be good also, I'm sure, with some flavorful vegetarian dishes. You could probably try this with Lasani gobi. It would go very well with that. Something along those lines. I think this is a very palatable red wine. Wasn't able to find a ton of information about it online, but very drinkable. And in this format, at that price, it's certainly lives up to affordable wine with a very good taste to it. Our shout outs for this week, a lot of canned wine followers and good friends of ours are having birthdays. Lorinda, Craig in Edinburgh, who has had his pictures of canned wine at the, I think that was Madison Square Gardens, or over in, when he was watching the hockey game in New Jersey. But Craig had a significant birthday as well. Jamie and May, one of our producers up in Gimli, congratulations on your anniversary. And also thanks to Ken for sending us that great video. If you're checking our shorts, he's got a real cool video where he's wearing his canned wine knit cap, aka the toque, and shooting video out of the small airplane that he's taking off into the north with. So, and he's going to be joining us on our next episode with another red wine, and we won't tell you where that remote location is, so you'll have to tune in and check it out. And our head scratcher for this week is, what area does this wine come from? Now, it is bottled and canned in Walla Walla, Washington, but it comes from somewhere significantly further south from that. So think about it, look it up, and it's Chilean, New York, and maybe that's a hint for you. So what area does this come from? If you get that answer and leave us a comment on YouTube, we will send you some sort of merchandise. There you go. So in closing, thank you for tuning in to the Can Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. Remember to enjoy it responsibly. Just because this comes in a can and it's handy and portable, enjoy it at home, in your cabin, somewhere where your feet are on the ground and you're not driving, because we don't recommend that. The canned wine is a center stage production All rights reserved.